Well, I got some nice jelly here. That'll plug a filter up, whatever it is. Frosting. I did a little 3-acre field at home. Little secret on that, I planted 8 rows of Indian corn in there, didn't tell nobody, so shh, we'll see how long it takes. But been messing with filters on the fertilizer. They just plug up with jelly. First time around, what the heck, I thought I had a voltage problem on my pump. Loose connections, weak battery. I know the batteries on this tractor are not too whippy anymore. So, this was alfalfa last year. We tore it up because of the gophers. And they're not done building houses out here yet. They're still making piles over there. So, all right, later, tater. There's what's in it. All of this gook. Stupid. Shit in this tank, I don't know. I think I want to take it back. Get a different load. Always put your orifice plate in with the numbers facing the outlet. So in this case, it would be pointed down because that's out. In is the side with no numbers. Out is the side with numbers. So that's the outlet. Numbers is out. All right, we are planting corn. Kind of tried to start yesterday and I had nothing but troubles. I can probably show you some of the troubles I had. I made some clips of that, but I was pretty frustrated. Just plugging screens all day. It took me all afternoon to plant that little field over there. I was cleaning screens up. What they told me when I called them this morning to complain, I says I can't get the fertilizer to go through my planter. Keeps plugging my strainers up. They decided that I was running too small of a screen. An 80 mesh screen was what I was told to use when I bought this planter, or when I bought this fertilizer pump and set up for it. They told me to use an 80 mesh. They weren't the fertilizer guys, they were the parts guys, you know. At Ag Spray, they told me to run an 80 mesh screen, so that's what I did. And it worked fine for several years. This year I got troubles. So we went and put a 50 mesh in, and that's big enough to solve my troubles. Everything's flowing through now. But yeah, I was kind of I run down to the creek and wash my filters out a couple times, and then I got into the stupid stinging nettle. Right, like on the inside of your arm, right where it. Yeah, luckily that doesn't last very long. But anyway, I got some different fertilizer openers on here this year. Actually, row cleaners. These happen to have fertilizer openers with them. They're a Groff, G-R-O-F-F. They got a silly row cleaner on the front, and then double disc fertilizer opener. It's supposed to be put in 2x2. Previously, I was just dribbling it on the back, out the back on top of the row, because when I got this planter, they the only fertilizer that they put on was in furrow, which was too much. You know, what I use is I can't put in furrow. I use too much. If I wanted to put like 1 or 2 gallons on, I could do in furrow, but geez, that's hardly. Why screw with it? You're not really getting much. So some guys run 5 gallons. Whatever. Everybody's got their own way of doing starter, but so far they're working. They're doing what they're supposed to be. I think fertilizer's disappearing and it's not spraying all over, so we're gonna call it a success, I guess, tentatively. I drove around out here last fall, all over out here trying to find this thing. And I was lucky enough to plant right over, oh fudge, I smashed the hell out of it. Oh man, maybe I can straighten it. Man, must have drove over it. I drove right over it with the tractor. Shoot. Maybe this is a snoot tip off of the bean head. Darn it. But hey, we found, I drove the pickup out here. I drove the car out here. I drove all over looking for that. And I knew it was out here. And I knew about where in this field. Because I made a stupid video and I remember seeing it on that end by that tree. It was there, and I only had a little bit left, so it's got to be in these 30 rows. Well, I found it, so I guess you get lucky. Too bad I had to run it over. Enjoy your music, it says. They are not very bright, and you cannot see very far left or right. You can see directly behind you, and that's it. And to adjust these, it's such a, I don't know, whatever lights the previous guy put on here. Oh, I need to use them yet a little bit. Oh crap, they're junk. You can see just enough to maybe find your way home, and that's, you can't see nothing else with them. And the hose is plumb full and heavy. Somebody told me once, the best part about liquid starter is the pump. Everything else sucks. I guess they meant pumping it on the planter. That was the best part. The rest of it is downhill from there. So, alrighty. I'm gonna close my lids so they don't blow away in case the wind comes up or something. I was doing seed shuffle. There ain't much in here. It might have the meter full. That's about it. Close these. Now, if I would have had decent luck with the starter that first day, I'd have had that tank empty, but as it turns out, I think I'm going to have about 100 gallons left over. And I don't know if I might just pump it into the sprayer and go spray it on top of some beans. There's some area that I know could use it, so. Let's leave the tractor sit out here. Alrighty, I'd better turn that fertilizer pump off. It's on a switch on the implement. And if this thing, I don't know, if it would settle or whatever, that thing will turn on in the middle of the night. I'll pump everything out and drain the battery and everything else. All right, it's finally cooling off a little bit. It was nice all day. All right, later.